Hello everyone. So a few weeks ago I made a video about how after 3+ years in YouTube I finally reached 500 subscribers and I wanted to do a Q&A. So this is it. This is the Q&A. I will go through your comments and just answer your questions. So the first question is from Cheryl 184 and she says, could you speak a little bit about when, why and how you learn new languages? And also if there's any other languages that I would like to learn. Um, so yeah, I speak, I would say, 4.5 languages. Speaking a language is a very gray zone. It's not a black and white, just you speak, not you don't speak. But so I am from Spain, so I speak Spanish natively. I didn't have to learn that one in school or anything. I speak English because that's what everybody learns in school. If I remember correctly, I started learning English when I was like 5 in school. And also in Spain, there's often these like summer things when you're a little bit older, like 14, 15, in which you can spend a month in summer in Ireland or the UK with a family, living within a family there, and then you kind of immerse yourself and learn the language better. And then obviously as I moved out of Spain, I became better and better, and now it's quite natural to me to speak English. Then I also learned French in school. So that one I started, I think, when I was like 12 or something, and I did French for like 6 years, and then I have used it less and less as time has gone by, so I can still understand when I read or when I hear someone speak to a certain extent, but my spoken French is really bad now. I cannot think of the words anymore. And then I speak Dutch because I live in the Netherlands. And that one is not super good because Dutch people are very good at English and they often don't speak Dutch to people that they don't think can speak Dutch. And also my job is in English, so I don't have the need to speak Dutch on that front. I think I have started speaking more and more Dutch because of Alex, because they speak Dutch in the daycare, and she's a very social kid and she says hi to everybody in the street, and then they start telling me their stories, and then yeah, it happens. So it has gotten better in the last couple of years, but that's how I speak Dutch. And then if it's in the right topic, I can hold a 1 minute conversation in Swahili. If it's the right topic. I lived in Kenya for 8 months. My husband is Kenyan, so I do know some Swahili. I would not say I speak Swahili fluently or anything like that. Far from it. I would not say that I speak Swahili, but I can pick up a word here and there when they speak. So sometimes I know what topic is going on in the conversation. So those are basically the language that I speak and how I learn them. If I wanted to, of course, I would like to learn all the languages in the world. That would be amazing, thank you. But if I would have to pick one, I mean, part of me wants to pick like something like Japanese or Chinese because I think it's very useful. But personally, I don't have a connection with those countries as much. So, I mean, I would love to have like proper Swahili, not just like the random words here and there that I know. I would like to properly know Swahili. And I also would really, really like to speak Basque because my mom is from the Basque country, but she grew up there when Basque was not taught in schools because Franco was there. So she doesn't speak it fluently or anything. She knows words, and I know words because I have visited many times. My cousins know Basque, and I would really love to know, but it's a really difficult language to learn because it's completely different from anything. So probably I won't, but I think that would be a cool project. And then she also says, Also, I am interested in any advice that you would give to somebody considering starting a booktube channel. Um, I would say start. I know that everyone says this, but that happened to me for a really long time. For years, I thought about starting a YouTube channel, and I tried a couple of times actually. So I guess the other times it failed because I didn't pace myself. I just put like 3 videos a week for like a month, and then I ran out of steam and ideas. So pace yourself, and just start. It's not gonna be very good. The first videos that I have put out are very cringy, and I think that's true for everybody. It's a reality we have to accept and move on. That's the advice I have. Then the next person, be my 5, says, "Congratulations! I study a technical field in college myself, and therefore I am curious how you became such an avid reader. I often feel I don't have a prerequisite background for many of the books I read, and I often wonder if I should have taken a few more literature courses. Do you have a similar feeling?" This is an interesting question. So I have always been into reading. Like, I have, I remember reading Saramago when I was 15 for a class in school and stuff. I have always enjoyed reading. I cannot remember a moment in my life that I didn't. That doesn't mean that I don't also enjoy other things, and therefore I decided to go for technical field when I went to university. And I don't feel that I don't have enough background to read the things that I read. I think that, I mean, some books I do not understand enough, so that I don't catch. Like, I read Salman Rushdie last year. I read the Satanic Verses, and I don't think I understood what was going on. But I don't think that that means I should learn more necessarily. It means like maybe it's not the right book for me, because nobody has the background to read everything. Even if you are like a scholar on literature, probably you don't know the background for all the literature in all of the world. So I don't think it's because of my technical background. It's just because nobody has that kind of knowledge. With that said, I do have the feeling that when I make videos, I often lack the background to discuss them in the depth that I want to discuss them at, because reading books and discussing books are two very, very different things. And I often feel in booktube, many of the booktubers out there have literature backgrounds and are so much more eloquent than me when they are discussing books. And I would like to be like them, but I'm not. And I have the hope that I bring something different because of my background. But it is what it is. Like, nobody has all of the background, so it's something we have to live with. Then Nadim can reader asks, since you are a scientist, say something shortly about you becoming a scientist and how did you develop your interest in science. I was an average student, and science had always been a difficult subject for me. That is interesting. So I have I have the theory. When you're in school, if you're good at science, people think that you're very smart, and then you would be good at everything. And that's not true. I was not good at languages. I've never been particularly good at languages. I have always loved reading, but I was not good at languages. And I think that's like two different skills, and you might be good at one or the other or both, and that doesn't reflect on how good of a student you are. But to answer your question, I was also always into science. I remember being 10 years old and asking my parents for a chemistry set for Christmas. So I was that kind of kid. So I was also always interested in science, and I just think it's fascinating. And also, as a job, I find numbers a lot easier to deal with than people. I think people are way more complicated than science, because at least science is somewhat predictable. And so I think that that's why I ended up being a scientist, because I enjoy science, and I also think that personally I can make a bigger impact in the world with science than I can with other things. I don't think I'm particularly good at arts. I enjoy doing it sometimes and I enjoy reading all of that, but I don't think I can make it my job in an enjoyable way. Whereas science is something that I feel that I can be useful at, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess that's how I became a scientist. And then the second question of him is, could you suggest one of your favorite books to me? If you have not seen my 5 million videos discussing my favorite book, it is The Wizard of the Crow. I really love that book. I have a full review of it, so um, I can link it down below. But yeah, that's a book I recommend to everybody, I think. And then Curious 9027 says, I'd love to know more about your work life, what a typical day is like, and what you most enjoy about it. So my days tends to be pretty hectic. I have this month, I have just started doing a different kind of work-life balance, and I think it's working so much better for me. I'm so happy about it. So in the Netherlands, a full work week is 38 hours a week, but most places I think can let you choose between working 40 hours a week and having extra holidays, or working 36 hours a week and having less holidays. And recently I have changed to working 36 hours a week, which means 4 days, 9 hours. So I only work 4 days a week. And basically I woke up around 6 in the morning, and then I work for like an hour or so until Alex wakes up around 7. And then we have breakfast, we get dressed. I drop her in daycare, and then I go to my office. It's about 45 minutes bike ride from my house to my workplace, and so I get a little bit of exercise and outdoor time. Some days are better than others. This week has rained a lot, so it has not been the most enjoyable, but sometimes it is. And then I work there for 8 hours, and mostly it's either meetings or in the lab. It depends. I am a postdoc researcher, so I spend a lot of time in the lab, but I also have I'm kind of the supervisor of a couple of PhD students and a couple of master students, so that goes into the mix as well. And then when I finish work, I bike back. I pick Alex up from daycare. Normally we get to the house around 6, get dinner, I put her to bed, give her a bath, all that kind of stuff. And then when she goes to sleep, which is around 8, it's like my time of the day, and I really enjoy that, like my me time, because I don't have a lot of that. And then I will like read, watch a movie, cook something, depends on the day, do laundry, it depends. And then with the days that I have off, so I have Thursday and then the weekends. And I chose Thursday because on Thursday morning, Alex and I go to the swimming pool. There is like a swimming toddler class thing that we do, and it's a lot of fun. So normally in the morning we wake up. Well, I wake up similar time because I like to get my day started and do things that I didn't have time to do, like I don't know, fold laundry and prepare food, so that the rest of the week goes well. And then we go swimming, we come back around lunchtime, we have lunch, she goes to bed, and then I have a few hours, and normally that's when I'm making these videos on Thursday afternoons. And then when she wakes up, we might go to the park, the library, something like that. And or if the weather is terrible, just stay home until dinner time. And then she has dinner, go to bed, and my couple of me hours start again. And then the weekends look very similar to that. On Saturdays we don't have anything in the morning, so we normally go to the market. And on Sundays She goes to a baby gym thing as well, because I find it easier to have activities prepared with her, um, that fill our time rather than me trying to come up with activities all the time. So we have the swimming and we have the gym thing. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think that's a fairly good work-life balance. Of course, it doesn't always work perfectly. Um, Sometimes the lab is unpredictable, and we have a machine that we use to make our devices that is always booked, so it's used 24/7, and that means that sometimes in the weekends we have to monitor that it's working properly, or like in the middle of the night, stuff like that. But normally it's pretty chill. That's most of the times the PhD's work to do and not mine anymore, which I'm happy about. Then Sandra Hollins 3520 says, as well as books, do you have an interest in music, and what types of music do you listen to? Do you play a musical instrument or sing? No. I do have other interests, but music is not one of them. Maybe because you've seen like musical stuff in the background. That's my husband. My husband is a musician. I am not. I am the least musical person that you can ever know. My mom is also a music teacher and she plays the piano. And when I was young, I wanted to learn music. I really wanted, for some reason, to learn how to play the oboe. And my mom very wisely said, well, maybe you can try with the piano that we already have first, and then if you like it, you can buy an oboe. And then she tried to teach me, and I was so bad that she said at some point, maybe we should stop. So yeah, no, I don't play anything, I don't sing, I don't have any musical talent or interest. I barely ever listen to music. If I have something in the background, it's normally like the four songs that I listened to when I was a teenager. Like, there's really not a lot of musical talent or anything interesting me. Then Rebecca6587 says, I hope I'm remembering correctly that you're a scientist. Correct. What kind of science projects do you work on? Can you recommend any books related to your field of science that are suitable for lay people? So I did a video about my PhD project, so I will link that down below. But I work in solar energy, so my job is to make solar cells as efficient as we can, and we have collaborations with industry, so like our ideas can get translated to industry in principle, which is pretty cool. At least this project is like that, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I work in solar energy. Books related to that. Well, there's Solar by Ian McEwan. I absolutely hated that book, so I would not recommend that one. The Professor in Solar by Ian McEwan is actually studying something very close to what I did in my PhD, but I did hate that book, so I would not recommend. I think it's basically about typical entitled professor rather than the actual science of it, so I would not recommend that one. If you're looking for a non-fiction that is approachable, Sustainability Without the Hot Air is pretty good, and I think it's quite accessible. It might be a little bit outdated because it was written quite a long time ago. And then it's not in my direct field of study, but the Inhabitable Earth, I really enjoyed, and it's about climate change, which kind of, I mean, it's not about what I studied, but it's like one of the reasons why we are studying what we are studying. So yeah, those are my recommendations. And those are all the questions as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any more questions. And until next video, bye!